in my concept sketches, I had a Formula style wing on the front of the hot rod. I was fortunate to get some used race car parts from eBay, a couple of different sources, and I put them together, but it wasn't just a bolt-on. So here's what I've done to make that work. So this is the main plane off a Honda Indycar, I think around 2015 or 2016. It's been through a crash, so it's pretty badly damaged. I bought it used off eBay. Gonna try and fix it. Now it is carbon fiber, and it looks like carbon fiber, but it turns out, you know, on the top surface, this is all just some sort of a wrap. So it's got it's like a vinyl wrap with a clear layer of tape on it, and then this is actual carbon here, and the bottom is all carbon as well. So that's actual carbon fiber, but you can see it's pretty badly damaged here. Internal structures all ripped apart. So I'm going to try and get in there with epoxy. You can't really see it very well here. Get inside there with epoxy and try and reattach some of this stuff, and then vacuum bag it. That's the plan anyway. Vacuum bag it and let it all cure, so that I can at least give it some structure on the inside. You can see this is all strands of fiber, or carbon fiber here. Give it some structure on the inside, and then my plan is to wrap the outside in carbon Kevlar, and then maybe a final couple wraps of just 2x2 12 3K 12 carbon fiber again. Anyway, that's the plan. First I got to get all this wrap off, and it's proven to be a little difficult here. There's a lot of adhesive left, but I'll keep working on it. I've got a heat gun and a scraper. So it took about 3 hours, but I finally got all that vinyl wrap off the surface here. It looks like there's a gel coat over top of the carbon fiber fabric, and I peeled the vinyl off this side too. I'm not sure if that's the same as they use for vinyl wrap for cars, but it was kind of miserable getting it off. It kept leaving glue residue behind, and if I didn't heat it up that hot, it was really difficult to pull and kept tearing. Anyway, it's rough sanded now, cleaned up, ready to start pouring some epoxy in here to try and reattach all this stuff. See how it goes. It's pumped down. Not sure what it's going to turn out like. There's quite a deviation in the suction side on the wing there. Not sure if everything's set up right. Find out. There's no turning back now. So it's the next day. I've peeled the vacuum bag off and taken all the breather cloth and peel ply away. Looks like it's all solid. It's definitely not pretty. Lots of deviations in the airfoil surface here, and it's pretty lumpy and bumpy on this side, but things seem to be reasonably well adhered. I supported the wing on both ends and then stood in the middle and gave a little bit of a bounce. There's a little bit of moaning and groaning going on, snap, crackle, and pop, but I think it's going to be okay for a core. If I put 4 or 5 layers of carbon and Kevlar on it, it should be strong enough. That's the plan. More work to go. Okay, ready to move on to the next stage. So the wing, it looks like it had on the pressure side, it had a couple of layers of gel coat on the top from new. So I've roughened that up, smoothed it out. Took a little bit of body fill to smooth out the airfoil shape, more so on the suction side of the wing. And all I did was I made a little, this little plywood template up, using the other side, which was undisturbed as a pattern, and then use that to regenerate the profile on this side of the wing. So hopefully it acts like an airfoil again. Next step is to wrap it in a couple layers of carbon and carbon Kevlar, so to give it some strength again. But I think this is a good structure, and hopefully it's the right shape. So the first layer's on. I'm using Fiberglass 2000 and 60-minute hardener. I used a triaxial weave carbon fiber cloth just for extra strength for the base layer. It's not pretty, but it went on okay. I'm letting it cure now, so after it cures overnight, I'll give it a sand, clean it up, and then try another layer on top. So we've done another step in the process. I've clad the top and bottom sides with carbon Kevlar fabric. So this is the fabric I use here. Turned out pretty good. It's looking more like a wing again, fairly smooth. It's still just a hand layup. So I got one layer of the fabric on top, 2 layers on the bottom, and I'm going to wrap this whole thing still with just regular carbon fiber twill. The Kevlar was a bit of a bear to cut. Now I went online and looked. You know, it says you could use like an angle grinder with a cutoff diamond cutoff wheel on it. I tried just a regular cutoff wheel. It worked okay, but it was really fraying the edges. So even cutting it before it was cured, you know, it was a bit miserable cutting. It would fray. They recommend serrated shears. I've got just this regular pair of upholstery shears here. They worked not bad, but they started getting dull. So then I tried this utility knife that I got here, and it's actually got replaceable blades the blades have an edge that's coated with a carbide, and surprisingly it cut very well with this. So I guess that's probably the answer for my needs. Anyway, I've got another. I'm going to do another layer on top and bottom with just regular carbon fiber fabric, and then we'll be done. So we're nearing the end of the process for repairing that front wing. I got a couple of holes to drill still to bolt the flaps on. But, the flaps are multi-element from a Honda Indycar 2015. You can see there's intricate CNC 5-axis machining down in here for some of the parts. I could never do that on my own, so I was lucky to find used parts for a reasonable price on eBay. They had not been through a crash. Only the main plane from a different car had the damage to it, and it all looks pretty decent. The weave on the carbon fiber, it's not perfect, but in the spirit of function over form, I think it's going to work pretty good. Now all I have to do is convince the motor vehicle inspector that this is actually my front bumper on the car, on the hot rod. So we'll see how that goes. Wish me luck.